You have to assassinate this mother.
One rule, you can't lose my money.
Of course not.
I won a huge liar's poker game with it against Carl Icahn. It's brought me luck ever since.
Hey, you take one more step towards me, and I will f you up.
In this video, we'll talk about how to sell anything and how to raise money, as I've humbly raised and managed over $1 billion in my career. We'll also discuss how rock star investor Carl Icahn makes billions and how to deal with bullies at work, as we discuss finance and business lessons from Billions Season 3, Episode 9, based on my work experience at Goldman Sachs and while I worked in venture capital, where I invested pre-IPO in Facebook and Palantir, and based on my work experience at the top hedge funds in the world. Now, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around, because at the end of this video, I will grade the episode for Wall Street realism with a buy, hold, or sell rating. Also, during this video, I will tell you how to download my free 200-page book on how to sell anything, where I discuss 49 crucial selling tips that will help you in your career. Plus, later on this video that you're watching, I will include my entire 1 hour and 48 minutes how to sell anything course with all 49 of my selling tips, which starts at this time code you see right here. But first, in this episode, billionaire hedge fund manager Bobby Axelrod wants to raise $20 billion in 6 months, and a lot of that from the Russian mafia. But he first meets with his prime broker.
What goods or services can I and Spartan Knives provide?
For years, as our prime, you've touted your connections and offered capital introductions, and we've accepted and said thanks. But really,
We didn't need you to generate those leads.
Now, a prime broker is like a retail stock market broker, but for hedge funds. They process your longs and shorts. They also promise to help you raise capital, but they usually suck at that. Now, the easiest way to raise money is from high net worth investors, as the sales cycle is quite short. So how is Axe going to raise $20 billion in less than 6 months?
We need Grigor Handalov.
guy's a Siberian brown bear.
Maybe I'm not convinced you got your edge back. Or maybe I am, and I just want to see you work a little bit harder for it.
No one works harder than me.
Now, Axe is desperate to raise money fast, which is why he's speaking with Grigor, who is a corrupt Russian billionaire. And if Axe accepted capital today from sanctioned Russian oligarch like Grigor, he would actually violate US sanctions and face legal consequences, since United States persons are prohibited from doing business with sanctioned Russian individuals. Also, when hedge funds raise money, their clients need to complete subscription documents, which have AML, or anti-money laundering provisions. And additional AML provisions were put in place post 9/11, as corrupt hedge funds made a fortune buying puts on US airlines right before 9/11. In fact, the put volume on the major US airlines was at an all-time high right before 9/11. And this means that some bastards made money on the attack on America. Now, recall that Axe made a fortune shorting stocks before 9/11, as this reporter right here mentions.
September 11, 2001. A plane crashes into the North Tower. Everyone you work with is dead, while you sit back in your chair with a smile on your face, making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Now, given all the negative press on Axe over the years, he realizes that the only way to raise money is by compromising his safety with a single corrupt Russian oligarch.
And you're scared. You don't want to do business with me.
I wouldn't have invited you here if that were the case.
Is that some piss running down your leg?
So, a bad investor is worse than a bad marriage, because in a bad marriage, people get divorced. But it can be almost impossible to get a bad investor off your board if you're a startup and they buy equity from you. So please be careful with that. So how can you spot a bad investor? Well, when I worked in the hedge fund industry, my boss hired 25-year former CIA and FBI agents to help me identify 4 ways to tell if somebody is lying. And here's how you can use this in all aspects of your life. Number 1, a liar rambles on and on and on to a simple yes or no question. Number 2, a liar breaks eye contact more often than they usually do when they're lying. Number 3, a liar touches their face more than usual when they're lying. And number 4, a liar often shakes their leg or hand or part of their body more often when they're lying. And that is what a lie detector test can look for. Now, the 4 aforementioned rules are really subjective and not always accurate, but try it in your life. I promise you, this will save you a lot of heartache. Now, what makes a good salesperson?
In a year's time, you're not going to be able to get me on the phone. I'm about to go on the run of a lifetime. I am aligned. I feel it. And I know you can see it.
So a good salesperson is confident in their delivery because confidence leads to perceived competence. It is what it is. So how do you boost your confidence before a meeting or a presentation? Well, you get rid of your imposter syndrome. How? Well, it's like the Rodin sculpture here. I think, therefore I am. And here's a quick exercise that's really going to boost your confidence forever. And this works in interviews, meetings, and when dating. So I've got a chart here, and I suck as a drawer here. Let me stand over here. All right, so here's a chart. This axis here is your age, and this axis here is give a darn. When you're younger, you're down here. You have meltdowns in restaurants. You don't give a damn what people think of you. When you're older, you don't have confidence problems. Old people don't have confidence problems at all. Look at me, I'm old, I'm confident, sort of. The problem is here. When you're right in your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, you're right here. You give a damn what people think. And this is a deadly way to live your life, man. I want you to live at this level. I want you to not give a damn what anybody thinks of you. And the best entrepreneurs in the world are like this. You know, people like Steve Jobs, he didn't care what people thought of him. Neither does Elon Musk. It is what it is, controversial, I know. Oprah Winfrey, etc. Now, the way to live at this level is to do the following. Here's a really simple exercise, okay? Get a piece of paper and a pen and write this down. I don't care what people think of X. And I want you to fill in the blanks for X. For example, I don't care what people think of the fact that I am going to take a month off from these vlogs when GTA 6 comes out because I'm a man-child. Or I don't care that my nose is so big, it's so huge, look at this, that when I put on this powder stuff, I run out every single day. The lights are bright, eh? I just don't care. So again, do that 10 times. Tell yourself you don't care right before a presentation or a speech, and I promise you, you will excel. Now, confidence is everything in business.
I'm here, but in 10 seconds, the bullet train leaves. And if you want to make money, climb the aboard.
I love that. So when selling, what else can be important from a first impression perspective?
Do you know why we wear ties? To signify seriousness of purpose. Ours is not to question why, but to do.
So you want to dress for success as perception becomes reality, and you want to err on the side of being a little bit more conservative. Now, when I've raised money and I visit client offices, I usually wear a tie, and I ask the dude at the front desk if people wear ties in the office. If not, I just take it off, eh? And quick side note, if you think you're up for a promotion, I want you to dress the way somebody one level above you would as perception becomes reality. There's a lot of psychology involved with promotions. And when it comes to selling over Zoom, a good Zoom setup will do more for your career than a good Italian suit will. And in the description of this video are links to lights and audio equipment. I don't get any affiliate fees. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Now, when selling, there must be a sense of urgency, meaning you have a limited amount of time to buy. And if you don't buy, there is FOMO, meaning fear of missing out, as we say in Canada. And this is why IPOs do well, because there's a limited amount of time that investors have to buy an IPO at a discount when the investment bankers take the company going public on the roadshow. And for hedge funds and mutual funds not participating in an IPO that spike on day one, it's terrifying for them from a FOMO perspective, as they can get fired if they underperform a benchmark like the S&P 500. Now, what materials should you bring to a sales meeting?
I have to evaluate risk, reward, return. That's it. And to that end, my people have a few questions.
How does an idea turn into an investment at your shop?
So let's talk about how hedge funds come up with investment ideas. Now, in a sales meeting, you can bring a massive binder that shows your investment process. For example, my clients get access to this 100-step investment template where you can analyze qualitative, quantitative, and financials, which prints out into a one-pager and a detailed report, as well as a massive dashboard. Another example of what to include in the binder are forensic financial statement write-ups that use AI to find short ideas, and my clients can print out this one-pager or 24-page detailed report on the short idea. Now, in the binder, you also want to include the resumes of everyone in the investment team and use the Harvard Business School one-page format that we write for our clients, and we also make our clients LinkedIn profiles to help them get a better job or get promoted or get clients. Now, if you want to discuss my products, please click the link in the description and set up a call with us. And you can also include write-ups on your option strategies, as we provide our clients with 35 options write-ups, and of course, we teach you finance and options and accounting from scratch. Now, when you discuss risk management, it's important to discuss position limits and hedging procedures. For example, we never have more than 5% of the portfolio in cryptocurrencies. And no position is more than 5%, and we never invest more than 20% of the portfolio in a single sector like tech, retail, financials, healthcare, etc. And you also want to articulate that you only invest in liquid securities as illiquid stocks own you in a down market rather than vice versa. And you want to discuss gross, net, and beta exposure. And you don't want to go through the massive binder in a meeting, of course. Rather, you want to show a prospect, a simple 10 to 12 page slide summary presentation, and I recommend using the Airbnb pitch deck template as you see right here for any presentation you give. And I'll put the link to the pitch deck in the description of this video. And as you can see here, there's no more than 3 bullet points on each slide, as less is more. And Steve Jobs was very famous for using the rule of 3 when presenting. As we can digest more, we cannot digest more than 3 things on a slide at a time. And this is why the best pictures ever usually have 3 layers, like we see right here with the beach, the ocean, and the sky, and here in other examples of iconic images. Now, what other questions does Axe get when raising money?
I don't get to think about business in such an esoteric manner.
Your Sharpe ratio is very low.
Now, the Sharpe ratio tells you how much extra money an investment makes for every 1 unit of risk they take. And I want you to think of it like this. 2 investments can earn the same return, but one that jumps up and down less is safer, and the Sharpe ratio rewards that. And volatility in finance means risk, and volatility is also known as the standard deviation. So the formula for the Sharpe ratio is the return on the investment minus the risk-free rate, meaning the lowest risk return on the planet, which is the government interest rate, divided by the standard deviation of the investment, meaning how volatile the investment is. Now, a higher Sharpe ratio is good. A Sharpe ratio of 1 is good. A Sharpe ratio of 2 is very good. And a Sharpe ratio of 3 is excellent and very rare. And a Sharpe ratio of close to 0 or negative is bad. Now, 0.6 to 0.8 is commonly cited as the average Sharpe ratio for hedge funds. Now let's talk about Renaissance Technologies. So Renaissance's Medallion Fund had an average Sharpe ratio of around 2, based on a mean return of 44% and an annualized volatility of 21% over about 20 years. So where do you get the risk-free rate from? Well, the last company, so to speak, that would ever go bankrupt in the world is the US government. And the risk-free rate is the 3-month T-bill, which is extremely liquid. Now, how do we get this number? Well, step 1, we go to treasury.gov. Then we select data here. Then the daily Treasury par yield curve rates. Then we select current month and apply. And here we see the current risk-free rate. Now, how does Axe answer the Sharpe ratio question?
I'm sharp enough, but when I'm making decisions for you as well as me, that's when I'm twice as careful, twice as focused, because I cannot live with losing somebody else's money.
Have you had your Carter's daily meeting yet? Is he allocating to you?
Now, psychology is involved when selling because investors don't want to be the first one. They're chicken, they're lemmings, and they follow other investors. And Axe's right-hand man Wags said it best in this episode right here.
First money in, gets the party started, entices other investors, all that.
Now, investors want to invest if others invest first. So before going on a road show to raise money, it really helps you if you have a well-known person or entity that is already investing in you. And IPOs are like this too. Investors don't want to invest unless the IPO is oversubscribed, and you have to get in fast, meaning there is FOMO or fear of missing out. Now, on a serious note, investors often ask you if your family is investing, as this is the real test if you're putting everything on the line. For example, Bobby Axelrod's mother. Is Bobby's mother investing?
Bobby mother. I'm Bobby mom.
I'm so sorry. I'm 7.5. That was funny though. Now, of course, raising money comes down to past performance as well.
Here's how simple it is. I've outperformed the S&P by 38.7% over the past 15 years.
Now, when it comes to past performance, investors want to know how you did in really, really bad months, like when the market was down in Q1 of 2020, given COVID, or in the second half of 2008 when we were within 24 hours of bank machines not working. And for many wealthy hedge fund investors, capital preservation is often more important than how much you make. Also, many investors hate seeing a month where you're down more than 5%. And some funds actually take a knee, or they don't take on more risk if they're down close to 5% in a month. And there's also the concept of alpha, which means how much you outperform a benchmark like the S&P 500 by. So if the S&P 500 is up 10% and your hedge fund was up 11%, you generated 1% or 100 basis points of alpha. Now, if you're just starting a company or a hedge fund, only raise money from high net worth investors because the sales cycle is shorter. Otherwise, you will get this response from institutional prospects.
The issue is the turmoil, but the growth that you will have missed out on, that's gonna eat you from the inside.
In a year's time, I'd be happy to revisit.
So frustrating. And for those of you starting a tech company, for example, if you want to get venture capital money, if you just started, don't waste your time talking to VCs or big institutional investors. Unless you've had past exits or a stellar track record, you're wasting your time here. Start with high net worth investors. And the way you reach out to them is as follows. Step 1, make a stellar LinkedIn profile. Step 2, write articles on your LinkedIn profile about the market you're in. Step 3, get at least 30 recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. And step 4, set up mini networking meetings using LinkedIn. My company can help you do this. See the link in the description and set up a call with us. Now, raising money is a numbers game. It's like dating. If you ask 100 hotties out, and if the 101st says yes, then the 100 failures was worth it, right? And don't forget what Michael Jordan said. I love Michael Jordan. He's better than LeBron James, kids. Michael Jordan said, "I failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." And Mark Cuban also said that you only have to be right in business one time. Now, with my kids, since they were born, I have always said 2 things to them, and they complete this sentence as follows. Number 1, you never, they say, give up. And number 2, you always finish what you start.
Another whiff.
Yep.
And it's that easy, you know they're not coming in.
Nope. Just there for the story.
Now, in a second, I'm going to show you how to download this book of mine for free, but here are some quick excerpts from it. Lesson number 1 of 49. Always bond before business and talk about what you have in common with a person before you start selling.
You're driven the way only someone brought up from nothing the way we were can be. Chuck Rhodes, he can never need it the way we do. But the guy's had a safety net all his life. You and me, we never had a net.
And then once you bond with them, think about how you can help them with their careers. Now, in interviews or informational meetings or any meetings in business, people are usually motivated by one of 3 things. Number 1, they want to make money. Number 2, they want to get promoted. And number 3, they want to enjoy the people they work with. And so lesson number 2 of 49 is help them with their career ethically, of course.
An ability to help your family. Your mom, she won't have to work so hard. Everyone wants to be a lion. Most people just never get the chance. I'm offering you one now.
The acting in this is superb. Now, lesson 34 of 49. All I heard was not no. Until you hear no, you keep selling.
I didn't hear no.
Now, before I show you my entire How to Sell course in this current video, I'm going to chat about a couple more things in this episode, like liar's poker, how rockstar investor Carl Icahn invests, and how to deal with jerks at work, meaning bullies. And you can always fast forward in this video you're watching right now to this point here. You see, in order to watch the 1 hour and 48-minute course for free on how to sell anything. Let's talk about a big problem that materializes in the office when it comes to dollar bill.
This your idea of making a name for yourself?
My name is Bonnie.
What the does that have to do with my lucky dollar?
I've never seen it.
I thought you saw everything.
Now, this office setup is very accurate. A lot of hedge funds, meaning buy-side firms, have an open concept where analysts and traders sit side by side. And this is very similar to a sell-side trading firm like you'd see at a firm like Goldman Sachs, although Goldman Sachs' trading floor is massive. Now, what the heck is Dollar Bill talking about with his lucky dollar anyway?
I can't even lay eyes on his station from down here.
Oh, you've seen it. Everyone's seen it. And everyone knows I won a huge liar's poker game with it against Carl Icahn. It's brought me luck ever since.
So let's talk about liar's poker first, and then we'll discuss how rockstar investor Carl Icahn invests. So Liar's Poker is a groundbreaking book written by Michael Lewis, you know, the dude that wrote the book The Big Short. And I did a YouTube video on that movie too. See the link in the description to check that out. Now, Liar's Poker recounts Michael Lewis's time as a young bond salesman at Salomon Brothers during the 1980s, when Wall Street was driven by even more greed, ego, and aggressive risk-taking. And the book really exposes the chaotic culture of traders who made huge profits selling really complicated mortgage bonds that they barely understood. And it ultimately shows how this environment laid the groundwork for many of the financial excesses that followed in 2008. And I personally think of Liar's Poker as sort of the prequel to The Big Short. Please read it, you will love it. Now, in Liar's Poker, traders play a bluffing game using serial numbers on a dollar bill to show who has more nerve. And here's how it works. This is fun. Each player has a dollar bill with a serial number hidden. Okay, they hide it. Then they take turns bidding on how many total occurrences of a digit, meaning 0 to 9, appear across both bills combined. And players raise the bid often aggressively to intimidate others, even when they're bluffing. And when somebody calls a bluff, both bills are revealed and whoever was wrong loses. Now, Lewis uses this game as a metaphor for Wall Street, showing how traders bluff, take risks, and try to dominate each other using confidence rather than knowledge. And recall that confidence often leads to perceived competence. And an example of this is as follows. Trader A says, "I have 3 sevens," meaning he claims that between both bills, at least 3 digits are number 7. And Trader B raises, saying 4 sevens, even though she only has 1 7, she's bluffing. And Trader A thinks the bluff is too big and says, "Call." Then they both reveal the bills. If there are fewer than 4 sevens, Trader B loses. So Dollar Bill beat legendary investor Carl Icahn in a game of Liar's Poker. Now, Carl Icahn is one of the most well-known activist investors in modern finance, and his entire career reads like a masterclass in spotting undervalued companies. And he started as a stockbroker, bought his own seat on the NYSE, and eventually built Icahn Enterprises into a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Now, what makes him unique is his hands-on style. He buys a big stake in a company, studies where management is falling short, and then pushes aggressively for changes that can unlock hidden value. Now, in recent years, when he took positions in names like Apple, Netflix, and eBay, the market jumped immediately, something people call the Icahn lift. And his approach really works because he's not afraid to challenge executives and cut costs or be aggressive in restructuring businesses when he sees inefficiencies. And that combination of conviction and pressure often forces companies to perform much, much better. Now, let's talk about what he did with eBay in 2014. But first, I want to discuss why eBay's stock price sucked until 2014. Now, there's 2 classes of investors. You're either a value investor or a growth investor. A value investor is like Warren Buffett. They like cheap stuff that throws off a lot of cash. A growth investor is like me, I guess, because I was a venture capitalist. You like to invest in stuff that's growing really, really fast, that's really expensive right now. Now, you're either a growth investor or a value investor, but not both. The problem with eBay up until 2014 was value investors loved the sleepy auction place business, which throws off a lot of cash, but they hated the growth part of eBay, which was PayPal at the time. It was the same company then. Growth investors loved PayPal because it was growing like a weed, but they hated the sleepy auction business. So nobody wanted to buy the stock. Value investors were like, I'm confused. Growth investors were like, I'm confused too. It was stuck in investment purgatory, and nobody buys a stock usually if it's stuck between growth and value. So in came Carl Icahn. Carl Icahn took a large stake, activist stake, in eBay in 2014, and he launched a public campaign arguing that the company was mismanaged. And his main demand was that eBay should spin off PayPal, which he believed was being held back by eBay's slower marketplace business. And after many months of pressure, public letters, and boardroom fights, eBay ultimately agreed to separate PayPal, and the spinoff in 2015, this is awesome. The spinoff created enormous shareholder value, and PayPal went on to become far more valuable as an independent company. And so growth investors love the PayPal business, and value investors love the core eBay sleepy auction business that throws off a lot of cash. Let's now talk about bullying at work.
Give me your purse.
No. Hey, you take one more step towards me, and I will f you up.
So a bully needs to be bullied back. You gotta stage your ground, especially if it's not your boss. Your peers will respect you, and more importantly, you'll respect yourself even more. And these bully pricks tend to peak in high school, And they spend the rest of their lives thinking about when they were on the football team in high school, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. And usually they end up as bouncers at best, or they work for us, that's right. Now, with my kids, I remember Andrew right here when he was younger. Andrew was being bullied at school and he was like 2 or 3 years old. And I told him this, Andrew, if that bully pushes you, immediately say, hey, don't push me. Then if he pushes you again, I want you to push back harder. And Axe sort of did this with the Russian mafia dude in this episode.
And if you mention my kids like that again, you'll find out just how friendly.
That was fun and exciting.
The bully respected him more. Now, what can you do when your boss bullies you? Well, you can push back, but it might hurt your career. Or you can embrace that frustration and work your ass off to get a better job. So when I worked at Accenture, or Accenture, it's a good company, back in the 90s, from 1994 to 1998, I'm an old man. When I worked there, I remember it was back in 1995, I was working on the merger of Manulife and Confederation Life. There was an associate partner from the San Diego office in Toronto. And he asked me to print out a database report. And it was late at night, like 10 p.m. at night. And I tried, I couldn't do it. I didn't want to screw up the database. And so I told him, I said, Tom, shouldn't say his name. I said, his first name was Tom, okay? I said, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to break it. And he looked at me and he said, it's because you're incompetent. And he turned around and he walked away. I hated it. So yes, I was bullied at work. That was just one of many examples. But I embraced that frustration and work for myself so that I don't have to spend the rest of my life being someone else's bitch. Now here's a vlog I recorded about 7 years ago about bullying that I am humbly very proud of. If you bully people at work, meaning if you're a corporate bully, then I want you to keep watching this. Otherwise, don't watch the rest of this vlog. It's going to be out there today. But for you, the corporate bully, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being such a jerk. And by the way, you peaked in high school and you're so insecure that you treat people poorly. I get it. I get it. You're really insecure. I understand. But you know what? In a bizarre way, and I think what you've done at work, treating people poorly, is disgusting. But I think in a bizarre way, I want to thank you. Because you've motivated the people that you've treated poorly to quit and to join another company. Or you've motivated them to start their own companies. You see, frustration in business can be a beautiful thing. And I say it with love in my heart. Because if you're frustrated at work because you're being treated poorly, and I've been treated poorly many times before, then that forces you to get outside your comfort zone and get a better job. Or better yet, start your own company. If I can be resourceful in any way, helping you start your own company, please let me know. Thank you. Not the bullies, just the people who are being bullied, like I was. Thank you. This is why I teach. Now, if you're getting bullied at work, you can always say something like this. Please speak to me respectfully. Or say this, and this is controversial right here, but strategic. You can say, I hope the fact that you're bullying me won't have an impact on me getting promoted. Now, you can also write down dates, times, what was said or done, or who witnessed it. Screenshots and emails help as well. And this becomes crucial evidence if HR or legal action is needed. Now, if you were terminated and you think you were bullied, I want you to talk to a lawyer to see if you can sue the pants off the company. And big firms often settle out of court. Now, before we talk about grading of this episode for Wall Street Realism, in the next 1 hour and 48 minutes of this video, I'm going to give you my entire course for free on 49 sales tips. Now, if you want to download the book version of the course for free, please go to the link you see right here. And I really hope these 49 tips help you in your career. Thank you. We're going to have a lot of fun today in this seminar on how to sell. You're going to learn how to sell anything in order to take your business or career to the next level. You'll also learn how to sell yourself so that you can get the job of your dreams by following your passion. And lastly, number 3, you're going to learn, that's how my son says it. He says, first, dad, this, second, this, and then 3. So number 3, you'll learn how to sell yourself to your boss so you can get a raise or a promotion. And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 49 tips on how to sell. And I promise you that using some or many of these tips that I mentioned will materially help you in your career. I promise you. And so I've humbly raised and managed over $1 billion in my career using many of the tips that I will share with you. Now, I've also started many companies, and I've been promoted many times, humbly, when I worked for other people using the tips that I'm going to share with you all today. So let's now talk about 49 tips on how to materially improve your ability to sell. And so what I've done is I've grouped the 49 sales tips into 3 different categories as follows. Category number 1 of 3 is called how to use sales psychology in order to sell more. Now, category 2 of 3 is called how to use technology and communications best practices to sell more. And then category 3 is how to price your product in order to sell much, much more. So please go to haroon.education.com/sell-anything, okay, it's all lowercase, and download the workbook for today's class in either Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or PDF format, as we're going to do some very fun exercises together. What you do is you scroll down on this page here, okay? And then you click on one of these links. And all 3 workbooks contain the exact same content. There's a PDF version, there's also a Microsoft Word version, and there's a Google Docs version that a lot of my students love to use. Now, if you use Google Docs, please, as I'm highlighting up here, please select File up here and then make a copy. That way you don't have to request access from me. Okay, great. And this assumes you have a Gmail address as well. Now, in these workbooks, every tip that I teach you, you can click here to go to the tip or just scroll down, and you can enter in notes as well. Okay, and what I want you to do is I want you to think about how these tips can help you sell more or get more meetings with people, or get an informational meeting and sell your product and get the job, or get a raise even from your boss. Okay, there's going to be a lot of exercises in here as well that I'll go over with you so I can help you take your sales game to the next level. All right, let's talk about category number 1, which deals with how to use sales psychology in order to sell much, much more. And so tip number 1 is smile and talk business later. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And remember that person that you met once, and you were very, very serious when you met them, and you weren't in a social mood, and that actually set the tone for the entire business relationship, or lack thereof, with that person. You remember that time? Now, a rookie mistake in business is to start talking about business and be too serious, right? Don't jump into business right away, okay? If you do that, then you're going to lose the priceless chance of bonding with them in order to perfect your first impression. So just remember to smile as well. Just be yourself. And Mother Teresa once said, "Let us all meet each other with a smile, for the smile is the beginning of love." So in your first meeting, what do you talk about? Well, what you do is you go to their Twitter profile and you see who they follow. If they follow baseball, for example, then find a way to talk about baseball. I love baseball, and sports is great boardroom talk. If they follow comedians or entertainers, bring that up in a natural and non-obvious way, okay? Just talk about something you're passionate about that they're also passionate about as well, based on who they follow on their Twitter profile or their Insta profile even. And what you can do is you can even go to their LinkedIn profile and see if you have any connections in common with them, or check out who they follow on LinkedIn or what groups they're in on LinkedIn. And I promise you that you will find something in common with them. Now, if you can't do this, then read the top news websites that day that you're meeting with the person, so you can familiarize yourself with current events and talk about that during your first meeting with them. And your best customers can become great friends with you. So get to know them well before conducting business. Ask them, where they're from and what they love in life, and just create a personal bond with them. Okay, that first impression is important. And don't talk about business until you get to know your customers or business partners, that is. Relationships are always more important than product knowledge. And once you understand who your customers are and what their needs are, then you can tailor your product or service to fit their needs and help them with their goals. But you need to generally believe that your product or service will help them achieve their goals. Tip number 2, which is helping them achieve their goals by realizing that 3 things usually motivate people in business. Number 1, they want to make more money. Number 2, they want to get promoted. And number 3, they want to enjoy what they do. So how can you help them make more? I provide students with many templates that you can complete and bring with you to any meeting. Now, if it's a salesperson that you're meeting with, network and meet with potential customers, and then during the meeting with the customer that works in sales, okay, you can give them a 1-pager with the names of people that you networked with over LinkedIn that might become customers of the salesperson you're meeting with, for example. And if that sounds like a lot of work, then you have to ask yourself, how badly do you want this customer or this job? Now, if it's somebody that works in operations or human resources, then do research on a new product or an app or a website that can help them much more efficiently do their job. And I provide you with templates to help you do this as well, because every battle is won before it's been fought. So always go into a meeting with the philosophy of helping them. Give and you will receive. It's prophetic and it's been true since the beginning of time. And give generously with your heart when it comes to helping others. Tip number 3, over-prepare for all meetings. If your competition likely only spends 5 hours preparing for a meeting, then spend 50 hours preparing. If your competition spends 10 hours preparing for a meeting, spend 100 hours. And every battle is won before it's been fought, as I mentioned. So just be ready. Bring many exhibits to meetings and leave them in your briefcase. And pull them out of your briefcase if you need to show them as exhibits. And put your resume on one side of the paper and the exhibits on the other side if you want to. And I've done this many times in interviews, and I've gotten hired because of this. You got to also anticipate what questions the interviewer is going to ask you before the interview. And when I had my many interviews at Goldman Sachs, I completely over-prepared. I wrote down over 100 questions that I thought they might ask me, and then I recorded myself answering the questions over and over and over again. And I thought to myself when I listened to the recordings, did my voice sound too monotone? Did I sound too arrogant or confident? Did I sound nervous? No way. Were my answers short enough? Remember, less is more. And did my answers sound interesting and engaging, etc.? Now, a friend of mine that teaches at Stanford Business School was one of the early venture capital investors in Facebook. And of course, I asked her, why she was successful in winning the investment mandate as a venture capitalist with Facebook. And her response, Teresa told me that she over-prepared for the meetings with Mark Zuckerberg. And so what she did was this. She brought 3 different term sheets, meaning 3 contracts, to the meeting. And each one of those term sheets or contracts had 3 different dollar values. Now, what she did was she gauged Zuckerberg's level of criteria for the investment mandate. And she was able to pull out the term sheet, meaning the contract, with the terms that Zuckerberg was asking for. And her competition only brought 1 term sheet each. And as a result, she won the investment mandate and she made an absolute fortune. Tip number 4, body language. Now, in addition to smiling, try not to cross your arms, as subliminally, this indicates that you're not as open-minded. Also, when it comes to eye contact, I read this great book by Larry King, who had the #1 interview show on CNN for decades. And he said, when it comes to eye contact, every now and then, look left or look right, as it's intimidating to always make eye contact. And of course, never look over their heads, as this appears intimidating as well. And when you brag about your accomplishments, which you have to do in an interview, you can look down when you tell them that you humbly were the top performing salesperson at your company, for example. And use your hands as well, as I find that this makes you sound more passionate about what you're talking about, because your delivery is crucial, eh? And as Maya Angelou once said, people might not remember what you said, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. Tip number 5, clothing and cosmetics to infinity and beyond. Be the woman or man you want to become. And the way you carry yourself is the way others will treat you. You know, people will respect you if you take the time to dress well. And so dress the way a person would one level above you in your job. And before you get promoted, you actually have to prove that you can do the job one level above you. And the way you dress is important, as strange as that sounds. And when it comes to marketing and advertising psychology, when toy companies make commercials, the age of the kids in the commercial is always at least 1 year older than who they're actually marketing to. Now, if you take time to look good, people will think that you are confident and hence competent. And you'll feel more confident too. And an executive or a salesperson that dresses like a slob is perceived to be less reliable, dependable, and less successful, of course. Now, if you don't know what to wear for a job interview, go to the company's website and just look at a picture of what they're wearing. Alternatively, you can go to their LinkedIn profile and look at profile pictures of people that are going to interview you and dress in line with their style. So dress well and excel. Now, in terms of cosmetics, because we all use Zoom a lot more for obvious reasons, there are some tips on how to look more presentable. And all actors and all people on television wear makeup in order to reduce how shiny you look. And so my wife, Christine, helped me with this, okay? And before you do online meetings, put powder like this on your face so you don't look like you're perspiring. And I didn't know how to do this before my wife taught me. And I went to a drugstore, and the person at the drugstore actually had to look at my skin color to give me the right color powder. I had no idea. This was all new to me, but it helps you. I promise. I promise you. And then I got this brush from a company called Sephora. Yeah, sorry. But when you put it on, like, you look a little bit shiny on camera. You can put this thing on and you won't look shiny as well, right? And I have to use a whole thing of these every day because my nose is massive. It takes me a while to get ready. Also, if you don't get enough sleep, what you can do is you can use this product here called L'Oreal Men Expert, okay, Hydra Energetic. And this has caffeine in it, and you put it under your eyes, and it can get rid of the eye puffiness fast. Yeah, and I didn't get much sleep last night, but I put this on. It kind of helped a bit. Yeah. Now, I provided a link to these products I just talked about in your workbook under tip number 5. Okay. Now, another product that can help you a lot that I use sometimes, especially as you get older, right? You look a bit more tired more often. I use this product here called hydropeptide. And these are just stickers that you put under your eyes about a half hour before you go live or your meeting, okay? It makes you look less tired, so to speak. Also, because your smile is crucial when it comes to first impressions, you can use this product here called Colgate Optic White Overnight. And what you can do is you just paint it, doesn't hurt at all. You don't even notice it's there. You paint it on your teeth for a couple nights before you go to bed. It all comes off when you brush your teeth the next morning. And it helps you make your teeth look whiter as well. Now, in terms of your voice, when you're preparing, 30 minutes before I go live on these webcasts, I use this product here called Vocal Zone, okay? Vocal Zone Throat Pastilles. And I use these to make myself sound more awake, which works sometimes. I also use this product here called Voice 37 if I start losing my voice. And I researched what rock stars and opera singers use. And this is the product they use to sound less tired, so to speak. And I don't get any compensation from any brand I ever talk about. I will never take any endorsements on my YouTube channel, etc. I've gotten 50,000 subscribers almost organically without any help. And the reason is because I always want to put my student first. The second I start selecting endorsements, I don't put you, the customer, first. And I'll walk through walls for my students. So all this stuff I just showed you is an investment. But one perfect meeting can change your life. Also, what you want to do is keep the camera at eye level, okay? And get a Post-it note and draw a smiley face on the Post-it note and stick it right by the camera, as this makes you smile more often. And if you don't believe me, get a pencil and draw a smiley face. And I promise you, you'll smile as you write it. Psychologically, it works. Yeah. Now, if you want to discuss recommended microphones or lights or cameras, then please type your questions about this as well. Tip number 6, always be 5 minutes early, especially for Zoom meetings. Now, the person conducting the Zoom meeting will let you in when the meeting starts, but they see that you're early, which sets a great first impression. Okay, and you never get that second chance to make a great first impression. That sounds cheesy. I got that from a Head & Shoulders commercial. All right, next up, number 7. Transparency builds trust. Always be 100% transparent in business, especially with the risks of the product or service that you're selling. Now, I tell my investors what the risks are of investing in my product or services within 5 minutes of our first meeting, once we start talking about what I'm selling, that is. And that's one of the reasons I've been able to raise a lot of money as well. Now, it's the right thing to do and the ethical thing to do as well. It also leads to trust, right? Which is of paramount importance in business, of course. And you want to disclose all risks to your clients or prospective clients before doing business with them, because that's what business is about, trust. And to state the obvious, they will be incredibly upset if you don't give them all the risks, because they're going to find out at some point anyway, which could result in painful litigation. Now, the only reason you might not offer 100% disclosure is in the rare situation when you can't divulge an issue due to confidentiality reasons. And if this is the case, and if the investment or the product or service has significant risks that outweigh the potential returns, then don't sell the product or service. You know, ask yourself first, would you be comfortable selling this to your parents? And life is too short to destroy your reputation and compromise your values. You know, it doesn't matter how many companies you work at. You only got one shot to establish a good reputation. And as Warren Buffett said, you could spend your entire life building up a business and establishing a great first impression, but it'll take you 30 seconds to ruin it completely. All right, let's move on now to tip number 8. Testimonials help you more. You want to mention large customers, if you can, that use your product or service. And also ask your customers to write testimonials for you. And these are some of my amazing Platinum MBA students from this year and from last year's graduating class. I love them. All right, but having testimonials has helped my business a lot. Okay, so let me actually show you really quickly here. So if we go to the website address I gave you all, okay, right here, and then you click here on this MBA link here, you'll see that I have a lot of testimonials. And let me scroll down and show you. So I've got some here from some of my students. And what I've started to do also is add video testimonials as well here. And there's a lot of plugins you can use, which I'll talk about later today, to be able to add all this stuff easily to your website without coding. So I've done a ton of video testimonials with my customers, and just ask them because it costs you nothing. And make sure to get customers or business partners to write you recommendations to, of course, on LinkedIn. I'll talk about LinkedIn more in a couple of minutes. Tip number 9, a sense of urgency. Now, when selling, you need to create a sense of urgency. And this helps you to sell your product. And it's the reason why Black Friday is a massive success here in the United States. And for those of you overseas, the last Friday in November in the United States is the biggest sale day of the year. And it's called Black Friday because most retail companies are in the red, meaning they're losing money all year long until Black Friday when they break even and they're in the black. And so a sense of urgency is if you don't purchase the products on Black Friday, then you can't get a great deal. And many companies, what they do is they inflate their selling prices just so they can discount during sales events like Black Friday. There's a lot of psychology when it comes to marketing and selling. Tip number 10, this one's good. All right, tip number 10 is stop talking if you think you closed the sale. Meaning, if you sense that the customer is interested in buying your product or hiring you, then immediately stop selling. Because if you sell past the close, then what happens is you lose the sale. Okay, and what this means is this. So in the image there on the left, you see that the customer smiling, right? And she approves and she wants to buy, right? But if I'm a buyer of your product and I want to buy, but you keep selling or overselling it, then from a psychology perspective, the buyer thinks like the picture in the middle. Gosh, I love the product, but they won't stop selling it. Am I missing something? I'm not buying. Tip number 11 is understand customer reservations, meaning focus on what is stopping the customer from buying your product or stopping them from hiring you, and address those issues before they bring them up. Be preemptive, okay? For example, if you're trying to get a job and you don't have enough experience in this field, then the person interviewing you is thinking three things. Number one, you aren't qualified. Number two, they don't want to take the time to train you. And number three, they don't think you are worth the money to hire. So when it comes to number one, that you're not qualified, what you can do is you can focus on how your unique experiences can help the company solve business problems in a unique way. You know, for example, if you're younger and you don't have experience, you can say that you thoroughly understand why and how younger people buy products using new distribution channels and social media products. And most companies don't use or understand these new products, social media products, for example, and give examples, of course. All right, next up, or what you can do is this. You can say, if you're older and you don't have experience in the industry you're trying to get a job in, what you can do is you can talk about your differentiated experiences and how this can help the company to enter brand new markets or sell to new customers, etc. And just remember that your biggest perceived weaknesses are actually your biggest strengths if you sell it the right way from a customer psychology perspective. Now, in terms of the issue of the person interviewing you thinking that they don't want to take the time to train you, what you can do is you can mention how you're a very fast and proactive learner, as you've taken many online courses, and of course give examples of courses or programs that you've taken and how you've used what you have learned to apply quickly to real-world situations. Separately, if you think that they don't think that you're worth the money in terms of your salary, tell them you're happy to do an unpaid internship, or you don't mind starting with a very low base salary, as you're very confident that you can add tremendous value given your unique and differentiated life experiences. And once you prove yourself, they will pay you, I promise. Now, you want to make it so easy for them to hire you. Tip number 12, which is give them a risk-free way to buy, meaning offer them a 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. And mention that is how confident you are in the product that you're selling. Tip number 13, always maintain a positive attitude, because one sale or one interview can and will change your life, and you'll have to be right in business one time. So don't get discouraged like your competition gets. And in every challenging situation in business, It's imperative that you see challenge as an opportunity. And I'm a firm believer that with crisis comes opportunity. So we need to rise to the occasion when a crisis emerges. And just condition yourself to embrace change and really enjoy difficult situations. And this will help you deal with the perceived stress and profit from adversity. And so always ask yourself in business, what is positive about this event and how can I enjoy and benefit from it? Okay, and I promise you your competition won't do that. Now, if you hate an uncompromising situation or position that you're in, just meditate on the issue and condition yourself to accept the fact that the end result from the situation will be very positive for you if you achieve X. So focus on X and make it come a reality. So the belief that anything is possible leads to unbelievable accomplishments. The glass is not half empty. The glass is also not half full. You know, the glass is always full. My cup overfloweth with optimism. And you'll never meet an extremely successful person with a negative attitude. You know, and if they didn't believe in themselves and in their goals, then they would never have been successful. And the quintessential example of this is Sir Richard Branson. And I just finished Richard Branson's latest audiobook. And my goodness, does he ever have an infectious positive attitude? And in the 1970s, when IBM and digital said there is no market for personal computers, Bill Gates had a passion and a goal for a world where he would have a computer on every desk and in every house. And without Gates's positive attitude, there'd be no Microsoft, and the computer revolution would not have taken place. And one of my favorite movies is called Tucker. It's about a man played brilliantly by Jeff Bridges that is so determined to succeed, and he has the most positive attitude ever. He speaks much gooder than me too. So please watch the movie Tucker. And when you're feeling unmotivated, you know, say to yourself, hold that tiger, which is what Jeff Bridges says in the movie Tucker. It's a great movie. Tip number 14, I love this one. Yeah. You need more Yodas. Okay, so you need many Yodas in your life and in your career as well. You need mentors, and you need to mentor others as well in order to reinforce what your core beliefs or critical career sales and success factors are. And so make sure that your Yodas, meaning your mentors, are in a position that you want to be in one day. Okay? Are they successful professionally? Are they successful personally? Did they achieve a great work-life balance? Are some of their past accomplishments your future goals? Can you trust them? Do you enjoy their company? Can they offer you constructive criticism so they can help you to seek continuous improvement? And it's extraordinarily rare for an executive to rise to the top of any organization or for any entrepreneur to be very successful without many, many mentors. And so Bill Hewlett from Hewlett-Packard, Bill Hewlett, he mentored Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs mentored Mark Benioff from Salesforce, which is now the largest employer in San Francisco. And both of those people, Steve Jobs asked to be mentored by Hewlett, and then Benioff asked to be mentored by Jobs. You got to ask. And people are flattered when you ask them to mentor you. They almost always say yes when you ask them. You know, ask and you'll receive mentors. And they're going to help you achieve your goals in life. So please mentor others as well, because when one teaches, two learn. I learn a lot by teaching. Tip number 15. Confidence leads to competence or perceived competence. And please don't confuse confidence with arrogance. But if you are confident and humble, people will think that you're competent and likable at the same time. And so confidence leads to great sales skills. And great sales skills leads to the ability to raise money. And the ability to raise money leads to the ability to create companies. And the ability to create companies leads to the ability to innovate and disrupt industries like Uber and Airbnb have, etc. So you need to come across as confident when you're selling your product or service, because perceived competence, perceived confidence is often leads to perceived competence, which should help you increase your selling success rates. So how do you become more confident? Well, it's all up here. You know, just like the Rodin sculpture, I think, therefore I am. And the simple reason why people are not confident is because they care what other people think of them. And that's a recipe for career and self-sabotage. Whether or not you think you can do it, you're right. So you can stop this self-sabotage right now, because today is day one and not one day. And I'm going to boost your confidence right now. And this exercise that we're going to do can and will change your life if you take it seriously. So what I want you to do, please, is I want you to open up your workbook and I want you to go to page 16 because we're going to do an exercise together. So let me show you, actually. I'll do it here. I'll go picture in picture. All right, give me 1 second. All right, let's go back to the link I gave you guys. Workbook. Here we go, right here. Cool. All right. So you're going to go to page 16, which I think is tip number 15. Yeah, here it is here. Okay, great. Excellent. So in this exercise, what I want you to do, please, is I want you to fill in the blanks. Okay? So I want you to answer this question 10 times. I don't care what people think of X. Okay? For example, I don't care what people think of my career passion. Or I don't care that people I work with have more experience than me. Or I don't care what people think of who I am. Or I don't care that people think what people think of my life choices, as this is my life. Okay? And someone else's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. So if you get rid of self-doubt, then you can sell yourself better. So I want you to take 3 minutes and complete this exercise here. Thank you. Welcome back. How amazing do you feel right now? It's like the weight of the world is off your back. And with that Superman cape, you can accomplish anything. Now that I have you in this wonderful peak mental state, let's move on and discuss tip number 16, which is setting big goals and the goal setting workshop. You need to accept the fact that if you want to put your dent in the universe and start a company that sells the best products and changes the world, or if you want to be the CEO of the company you're working at, it's not hard to do unless you tell yourself that it is. It doesn't matter what level you're at either, because there's countless examples of people that have started in the mailroom with no education, and then they climb the corporate ladder in order to become CEO. So just don't be negative. I promise you that you can become the CEO regardless of your education or rank at the company. Similarly, you can start any company you want to and disrupt an entire industry regardless of your education. And so Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Jobs, they don't have university degrees. What they have is an unquenchable thirst to leave a dent in the universe. And so believe in yourself, and you can accomplish any goals you want to in business. And we can sometimes overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but we massively underestimate what we can accomplish in a decade. And there are no limits to what you can achieve in business except for the ones you set for yourself. So here's this great story. And by the way, when you mess up, like I just did there, don't worry, because you become more likable, because you appear more human, I think. All right. But here's a great story. So back in 1970, the graduating class of Yale, they did a survey. And in 1950, when people graduated from Yale, they only 3% wrote down their goals. And then 20 years later in 1970, what happened was the Alumni Association at Yale University, they asked the graduating class of 1950, 20 years later, 1970, they asked them, how many of you wrote down your goals when you graduated 20 years ago? And 3% said they did. And the net worth of the 3% that wrote down their goals was greater than the other 97% combined. Time for an exercise. What I want you to do, please, is I want you to go to page 18 in your workbook. And I want you to write down your 10-year goals. And I don't want you to be conservative, okay? Just remember, we often underestimate what we can accomplish in a decade. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and this is the last exercise today. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to complete this exercise. And then I'm going to tell you how I will help you accomplish your goals. So over the next 5 minutes, please write down goals that you will accomplish in 10 years. And I want you to write or type as fast as you can. And please, please don't be conservative. Okay, you're better than that. Okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes, and enjoy this exercise too. Thank you. All right, so welcome back. Now that you've had a taste of how amazing your life will continue to be when you reach those goals, I want to sell them to you. And I want you to know that no matter what happens, you're getting closer to achieving them. And so please understand that, as Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And I'm going to use my treadmill for this one. I'm going to have fun, go off script here. Here we go. All right, so when you first embark upon a journey, okay, and you set goals, you're excited, and your goal is the top of the mountain. It's a metaphor. I can see it. And I'm getting closer to my goal. This is exciting, man. The mountain's getting bigger, the peak of the mountain as I approach the mountain. And then what happens is one day you realize that I can't see the top of the mountain anymore. What's going on? And you move this way and this way. Maybe you slow down a bit, but you got to keep moving. And the reason you can't see your goal anymore at the top of the mountain is because you're halfway up. You are getting closer. You just can't see it. And so a decade has 3,650 days. All you got to do is get 1 day closer, or 1 divided by 3,650, closer every single day to your goal. It's easy. You can do it. I'm your coach. I want to help you do it as well. All right. So what I want you to do now, please, this is fun. What I want you to do is I want you to copy all the goals that you just wrote down. Okay. Copy them and paste them into your calendar, and have that calendar entry repeat every single day forever. Okay. And I want to be your coach and humbly help you to achieve these goals as well. What I just did there was I've got this pedal I step on to go from one slide to the next. It's this USB plug-in. I put it on my treadmill now. Okay, good. Appealing to emotions when selling. So Dale Carnegie said that in business, we need to understand that people are creatures of emotion and not creatures of logic. And it's a really strange saying. And this video that I'm going to show you in a second is going to appeal to your heart and to your emotions when you bond with your customers and when you position your brand as more than a product. But the brand you're selling appeals to emotions and helps improve people's lives. And you really have to believe this, and with all your heart whenever you sell. You know, we're here to serve others and make their lives better with your product. And the way we service them will help them get closer to their goals as well. So you got to find an emotional connection with your customers. Okay. And this next little video here, this commercial, will basically sum up what I mean by emotion. This is powerful.
My name is Ratnesh. I'm originally from Mumbai. I mean, I like to call it Bombay because I grew up there. What do I remember from Bombay? Well, playing in the streets, taking the local jasmine gajras in the flower market, and my mother praying in the morning. You can move thousands of miles away But these images, they are always with you.
I'm Alka. My full name is Alka Rani Dubey. I'm 61 years old. My son is Ratnesh. He's staying in New York. First, when he told me he wanted to go to the US, I felt very excited. But when the moment came when he was leaving India, that time I was really very nervous and quite heartbroken, I must say.
Today, British Airways has given me a seat on a plane. It is for my son's favorite dish, okra paratha. They will fly it to America and surprise him in his apartment. I think this will make him come home and visit his mummy.
I, like every mother does, I used to experiment with different things, putting in his tiffin box. Most of the time, the other vegetables, they will return from the school untouched. But whenever I am giving okra, it is finished. I asked him, why you like okra the most? He said, Mama, my teacher has told the child who eats okra becomes best in his mathematics. My son is progressing day by day. His dreams are getting fulfilled. And his happiness is more than what I ever want for him. When he will look at the tiffin box, first he will think from where has it come. But once he tastes the food, he will know it is made by his mummy. And I am sure he will start searching for me in his apartment. I miss him so much because when he left home, he was hardly 17 years old. And from that day, he did not return home. I miss my son.
My mom had cooked my favorite meal, and she was waiting for someone from British Airways to pick up the tiffin carrier. So they sent me. After flying from New York to Mumbai, there I was, walking to her door, smelling her cooking. It was an incredible feeling. Sometimes, even when you know what's going to happen, you cannot even imagine how it's going to be. I got the opportunity to see my mother in a way I'd never seen her before. She looked lonely. She looked like she sounds over the phone. I just wanted to run out and give her a hug.
Mommy, I'm here. It was a great moment. It was a family moment. Even his dad was there. We all three of us sat, we talked. And I didn't ask him, when are you leaving? I said, I will not ask you today. Let this question be for tomorrow.
I tell you, the first time I saw that, I teared up. Tip number 18, turn your competitors' weaknesses into your strengths. So what I want you to do is thoroughly research all negative aspects of your competition by reading Yelp reviews or go to glassdoor.com. or read about the weaknesses or risks in your competitors' business models by reading their annual reports and other financial documents that I teach my students to review in my MBA degree programs. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about how their weaknesses are your strengths when selling your product or servicing customers. And you can even say that you will walk through walls for your customers in terms of customer service and value you can add, etc. And you can also mention how big customers treat their customers, big company, I should say, treat their customers like a number, right? But your product is worth the premium price because of customer support, etc. Tip number, oh, this is fun. Tip number 19, I want you to think like the customer. And so spend an entire day in the mindset of the customer, like an avatar. And think to yourself, why would this customer buy from the competition and not from you? Why would they buy from the competition, not from you? Think about it from a psychological perspective. And then address those issues in your meeting with them. Avatar's a theme here. Tip number 20, I want you to think like the competition. Okay, spend an entire day in the mindset of the competition. And go to the Twitter profile of competing salespeople, and you'll notice that they follow their customers, which is a great way to think about how to get customers. Tip number 21 right here, which is only sell to decision makers. And Sigourney Weaver was the boss in this movie. And Avatar Part 2 is coming out next year, by the way. They're filming it now. It's going to be entirely based underwater. But tip number 21 is only sell to decision makers. Okay, don't waste your time selling to non-decision makers in a company. Go right to the top or speak directly with the head of a division. You got nothing to lose. Now, in my MBA program, I teach you how to network in order to get these awesome meetings. Tip number 22, this one's important. Small customers, okay? Small customers are just as much work as big customers. So don't waste your time trying to get small clients. Small customers are high maintenance. You want to elephant hunt. So you'll find that small customers are sometimes even more work than large customers. Why is this the case? It's because smaller customers usually have less disposable income, and as a result, they're more likely to want to return the product or pester you with too many customer support questions. And larger clients, by contrast, they can be more sophisticated, so they require less customer support, and they also likely have less of their net worth invested in your product. But please don't get me wrong, as you need to respect and appreciate all customers in business. But your time is valuable, and it would be nice to spend less time servicing smaller customers and more time working on new leads or more time with your family. You know, life is too short. Tip number 23 is ask for the sale. I can't tell you how many meetings I've gone to over the years where colleagues of mine in the companies I've worked at, and I've noticed that my colleagues, they don't ask for the sale. It sounds ridiculous, but it happens all the time. And as counterintuitive as this might sound, you need to ask to get promoted. You also need to ask to get a raise. And most successful business people that get promoted often and rise to the top, they ask to get to that level. It's very true. You just don't know this because they've asked behind closed doors when they met with their boss one-on-one. And I promise you, you will get passed over for a promotion or a raise if you don't ask for it. Okay, you need to ask for everything you want in life. No one's going to give it to you unless you ask. And so your supervisor should be cool with this, though, as she or he knows that you're trying to provide for your family. You know, they've been in that position before, too. In fact, they probably got promoted to their level because they asked many times. Now, if you feel very uncomfortable with this, and you should not, then you could phrase the question like this. I love working here, and I love the team too. Can you please let me know what I need to accomplish in order to add more value to our team so that I can get a promotion or a raise? And then once you achieve those goals or those benchmarks that your supervisor gives you in response to your question, then remind him or her of your accomplishments after you achieve them, and you will get a raise, I promise you. And it goes without saying, though, that you should only approach your boss with this conversation when they're in a great mood or in a positive state of mind, and right after they tell you that you did a good job on something. You got to strike while the iron's hot. That's your opportunity. Great. So we are now done with the first of 3 categories, which covered sales psychology. So let's now talk about category number 2, which is how to use technology and communication best practices in order to sell more. Okay. Tip number 24 is become a thought leader and leverage the media. So why do people talk to journalists and get quoted for articles or get interviewed on podcasts or on television? And how can you do that as well? Well, they do these interviews, of course, because of the free media exposure, which sells their products or services, etc., to the marketplace. So how can you get this free publicity as well? Well, number 1, be controversial but tasteful. Number 2, become a thought leader to build your empire. Okay, so how can you become controversial? Well, the most successful executives are constantly in the media as they see this as free advertising for their product and service. And I love watching Sir Richard Branson and Mark Benioff on television conducting interviews because they are incredibly inspirational and controversial. And their genius, though, is partially through leveraging the media to evangelize their companies by being controversial. And so Richard Branson did this by literally driving a tank through New York City's Times Square when he declared war on Coca-Cola with his Virgin Cola brand. Another great example has been Mark Benioff, getting any reason he can to be interviewed on television and explain why traditional client-server software products are dead and why cloud computing and Salesforce are revolutionary productivity tools. You need to embrace the media. Now, the way to become a thought leader, I think therefore I am like the Rodin sculpture here. The way to become a thought leader is to think like a thought leader and share your opinions on the sector that you're in or the sector you're most passionate about. And you can do this for free by publishing a LinkedIn article every week on LinkedIn. But you got to be consistent and understand that it's a marathon and not a sprint. And your competition might try to do this, but they'll give up. And I promise you that if you do this enough times, then you will get journalists contacting you and asking you for quotes in articles that they write. And it's going to be a little bit lonely at first, as you might not have that many likes or views. But don't let that discourage you. Don't let it stop you, because Rome was not built in a day. Do you know how many videos and articles and interviews Gary Vaynerchuk had to do before the media called him for quotes? He was persistent for years, and now he is the quintessential thought leader. Okay, so what you can do is this. You write 1 article per week for 2 years, okay? Then what you can do is you can take all 100 articles or chapters and put them in your book, which you can publish for free using my templates. And actually, let me give you the template. And this is how I wrote this book here. All right, so what you can do to download the book template, I don't ask for your email or anything, is you go here to, let me open a new tab. Oops. If I can use the right keyboard. So you go to my website, haroon.education.com/, and then you type in write book, okay? All lowercase, write book, okay. And then what you do is you download this template right here. Okay. And if you know how to use Microsoft Word, you can do this. And I give you the instructions on the first page. It's free to do. And these instructions explain how to make the Kindle version, the paper-based product version, and the Audible version as well. And then you can go to Fiverr and get somebody to make the cover of your book. And please use UltraCon22. She's from Bangladesh. I have all my book covers made by her. She's great. She's the best. Okay, so what you do is you just fill in this entire template. And then you just right-click and you repaginate, that's a word apparently, to update your table of contents and then submit it. It's a lot easier than you think, and a lot of my students have done it, and I promise you, it helps you tremendously. Okay. All right, and this is actually what, let me go full screen here. This is what I did. I wrote articles for 2 years on LinkedIn, and then I copied and pasted them into my book that I self-published called 101 Crucial Lessons They Don't Teach You in Business School, which I'm humbled to say. I'm humbled to say that Forbes magazine called this one of 6 books that all entrepreneurs must read right now, along with Peter Thiel's book and Simon Sinek's book as well. And then what happens is when you go to interviews or when you go to meetings with potential customers, you give them a copy of your book. And if you think that's too much work, then I want you to ask yourself, how badly do you want this customer or the job you're interviewing for? It works, I promise you. Tip number 25, which is repurposing your content, okay? Work smarter and not harder when it comes to being a thought leader and publishing content. And Nintendo, for example, has been doing this. They've been repurposing content, meaning their older games, on newer platforms for years. Their older Zelda and Mario titles have been put on newer platforms for years. It costs them nothing. Okay, they're repurposing. And as many of you know, I hold a weekly webcast every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And what I do is I repurpose the content through 7 YouTube and LinkedIn vlogs based on that webcast. I also have a podcast based on that weekly call and Instagram videos and much, much more. So write once, read many, meaning repurpose your content will save you a lot of time, I promise you. And if you don't have time to go and post stuff to social media platforms, then just go check out hootsuite.com. Let me show you really quickly here. You can use hootsuite.com for free to actually to send out your social media stuff at the right time. Hootsuite.com, Canadian company, Vancouver, represent, I'm Canadian. All right, so I use Hootsuite as well. It's not loading right now. There we go, good, okay, great. All right, so what you can do is you can actually use it for free, okay? And they make it really hard to find the free version of it. But if you scroll through here, I promise you, you'll find it. It's here somewhere. Compare plans, let's see here, okay. Okay, they don't show you. It's here somewhere, I promise you. All right. Yeah, if you, I swear to you, it's on here as well. There's a free version you can use to send out like 10 per month. Yeah, and don't just get the free 30-day trial because you have to put in your credit card, okay? There's a free version there. Oh my God, I'm messing this up. But it's true, it's there, okay. All right. All right, but you gotta be long-term focused, with content that sells your product. And Toyota, for example, has to show a commercial 20 times before somebody buys a car. So making content and advertising, it's a long-term strategy and it costs you nothing. And I actually think that YouTube is the only gold rush in history that costs you nothing to make the product. And YouTube is also the only gold rush in history where you can access millions of customers all over the world for free. And I think that in a decade, we're all going to look back and say, I wish I'd created more YouTube content. As each video, it's kind of like a coffee shop. It's like a little franchise that pays dividends forever. Tip number 26 is the carrot and the call to action, which is CTA. So in all of your social media content, there has to be a carrot and a call to action, which is like asking for the sale. And the carrot is something that you can give away. And the call to action is where you ask them to click what to do next, for example. Okay, so for example, what I do is with a lot of my videos, 13 seconds in, I show a YouTube card. Okay, and the YouTube card can be, go to my website and download my book. And I've gotten tens of thousands of emails from that if you just go to my homepage, yeah. And people complain I did too much, so I'm not gonna go there. I'm transparent. Next up is tip number 27. Email is still the gold standard for getting customers. So how do you start? How do you do this? How do you manage and build your email list? Well, you want to use social media to drive traffic to your website so that people can download your book by entering their email, for example, okay? And so managing your email list, you can use MailChimp.com for free. And then once you get a ton of emails like I have, then you can use a product called Active Campaign. Okay, and a lot of these products are free, not just including a trial. Next up is number 28, which is plugins and automation help you work smarter and not harder. And so don't waste your time coding or hiring people to code for your website when you can do this for next to nothing using plugins. So let me actually show you what this means. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Squarespace, which is my internet service provider, or the company I use to host my website, squarespace.com. Okay, great. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go to my dashboard, and I'm going to show you how it works. All right, here we go here. So on my website and on the web page you're looking at right now, the one you got the workbooks from, I have a lot of dynamic content, right? All this stuff here. And the way that I put in all this dynamic content is I use plugins, right? So this is all just code. And it's really easy to do. All you do is you copy and paste the code, right? So I go to a website called, you see here, ElfSite. And I just copy and paste one line of code, and I throw in all these plugins. You can go to elfsite.com if you're interested in learning more. Yeah, automation works. And I use elfsite.com's products as well to populate what I have on my website when it comes to YouTube vlogs, my weekly call, etc. Oh, one more company I want to show you. This is gold. This is awesome. All right, so there's this company called 360 Search that I use now. And what I do is I actually use them to index my website. Okay, so if you go to any of my web pages and you type a question on anything, I've done more than 10,000 videos where I've answered questions from my students over the past couple of years. So what you do is this. So if you type the word, for example, I don't know, income statement or any business term, and you hit enter, it automatically gets all my vlogs where I talked about income statement over the years. And if you're in my MBA degree program, you can click here to go exactly where I teach that topic. So there's, I got 10,000 or so questions again I've answered over the past couple of years. Maybe that's why I lost my voice today. I don't know. Okay. All right. So anything you can do that's repetitive in your company, just try to automate. Next up, we've got number 29. Oh, I like this one, which is Crutch words and frameworks. So when you're in a meeting trying to sell something, or you're in an interview, you can buy time by structured frameworks and crutch words to answer questions. Let me give you an example. If I'm asked in an interview, what are my thoughts on a business topic? I can say, well, using the SWOT or SWOT analysis, I'll discuss the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Let me kick it off with the strengths. The strengths are blah, blah, blah. In terms of the weaknesses, blah, blah, blah. Moving on to the opportunities, which are blah, blah, blah. And lastly, the threats, which are blah, blah, blah. Now, you'll notice that I used what I refer to as crutch words or transition words there when I said in terms of, moving on to, etc. And the structure of these frameworks and the crutch words you use actually buys you more time to answer the question, and it makes you come across as more polished and confident when selling as well. Tip number 30, this is big. Your LinkedIn profile sells you. Okay, so before people take meetings with you, they're all going to look at your LinkedIn profile. So let me actually go there with you. This will be fun. All right, so let's check out a couple of LinkedIn profiles together. So I'll go here to LinkedIn. Here we go. Okay, so I want to look at, first of all, Dr. Dion, here we go, Dr. Dion Vernon, who's one of my amazing students in my Platinum program. Okay, so let me start at the top here. Make sure you have an inspiring image at the top, okay? And then as I scroll down, you'll notice that she's got a nice summary section here. Hold on a sec, right here. Here it is here. Okay, yeah. And don't forget that your summary section, it's kind of like a bio that someone's going to read when you're doing a keynote speech, okay? Really, really important. And what I learned when I used to write at Inc. magazine, my column, is that each paragraph can never have more than 3 sentences. Otherwise, people just won't read it. And don't forget to include keywords here in your title, because from a search engine optimization perspective, people are going to search for these things. If she, Dr. Dion, who won a gold medal with the team she worked with in the recent Olympics, she's amazing. So she has Olympic sport therapist here, public speaker, performing arts as well. Yeah. And probably what's most important is to get recommendations down here. Okay. So ask people to write recommendations for you, like I've done here, and I do it for all my platinum students as well. If they ask, they have to ask them. Yeah. So I recommend that you get at least 10 recommendations written for you. Okay. Get them from teachers or managers or coworkers or classmates, as this helps you big time. Okay. I promise you. Now, in 2015, when I worked in the venture capital sector, my venture capital firm led the Series B on a company where Sequoia led the Series A. And that company is called Cohesity. And I sat on the board of Cohesity until I decided I wanted to teach instead. Now, when I did due diligence on Cohesity before investing, the first thing I did, and the first thing I always do, is I went to the LinkedIn profile of the person that founded the company. So this guy's name is Mohit Aaron. Here he is right here. Yeah. Okay. And so what I did was I looked through his profile. Great guy. It's going to be a huge IPO soon. And so I looked here at recommendations, right? And he had 25 recommendations written for him. He hasn't updated this since he raised money. He doesn't need to. But this helped him out tremendously. And it gave me confidence knowing that I'm investing in the right person as well. He's great. He's great. And so you need to brag about your accomplishments as well. And if you don't brag about your accomplishments, then people will never know. And if you feel uncomfortable bragging about your accomplishments, you can get somebody to actually write you recommendations. And Seth Godin, who's a brilliant marketing man, he once said that you already have everything you need to build something far bigger than yourself. And it all comes down to how you sell and market yourself. So be creative when selling. Okay. And what happens is that the customer really appreciates it if you're creative and approach them in a different way. So I'm going to give you 4 examples. Okay. So the first example is I was at a Tony Robbins conference, and there was this guy that started this big company in Cleveland, and his customers were big steel companies. And the way that he got meetings with these customers, and this worked really well, was he was creative. What he did was this, and he presented at the Tony Robbins event too. He basically got this really nice wooden box. And inside the wooden box, he put a $1 silver coin from the 1800s. Okay. And if it's not in mint condition, it's worth nothing, right? Or not that much. So he put a $1 coin in. He mailed it to the person, the potential customer. And he had a letter along with it. And the letter said this: John, for example, John, hope all is well. In this box, you will find a $1 coin. Although the face value is $1, it's worth much more than that. By the same token, the services that I provide my clients are worth much more than the face value. I'd be honored if I could please get a quick meeting with you. And it worked. It worked. It was very creative. Yeah. Another example is this for being creative. So when I worked in venture capital, I get approached all the time by entrepreneurs that want to meet with me. And I couldn't take every meeting. I was just really busy, right? It's hard. And so this one startup from France, what they did was they mailed me a poster. And the poster had a picture of me with a cowboy hat on. And it was like a wanted dead or alive poster. They didn't say the word dead. They wrote wanted, a meeting with Chris Haroon to talk about our business model. And of course, I took the meeting. It was so creative. I didn't invest, but it was so creative. It was so creative. And I respected them for being creative. And that's why I took the meeting. Yeah. So another example is this. So I'm a very, very big baseball fan, as many of you know. And I love the Toronto Blue Jays. That's my team. And so I think it was a couple of years ago, somebody sent me an email, one of my students that watched one of my webcasts. And the subject line was, did you see the game last night, the Blue Jays game or something, ... And so I answered it, and I ended up doing a call with that person as well. All right. Last example is this, okay, just being creative. Recently, somebody reached out to me and said, Chris, can we grab a coffee, ... And inside the message, inside was a one-liner saying, I'd love to grab a virtual coffee with you. And it was this woman that was holding a Starbucks cup with the name Chris written on it. Right? It was creative. It was creative. So think outside the box, so to speak, and be creative, and people will be more likely to take meetings with you. Tip number 32 is less is more. And Steve Jobs was the quintessential communicator and entrepreneur. And he firmly believed that for a product or an idea to be widely adopted, it needed to have a simplistic design. Now, the iPhone and the iPad had only one button, and its presentations usually had only 3 bullet points or 3 images per slide, and that's all. And I tried to adhere to that with today's format as well. Make it more graphical, more visual, and less complicated, and no more than a couple of bullet points. And in this day and age, actually, we're so inundated with information that 280 character bottom line summaries are much more relevant than lengthy write-ups. And this is why Twitter has been so incredibly successful. And the best business model presentations that I see as a venture capitalist have a maximum of 10 slides with only 3 bullet points per slide. Less is more works. And executives and potential investors have extraordinarily short attention spans in this day and age, given the many screens that we're addicted to, like smartphones, tablets, laptops, watches, etc., and soon metaverse Web 3.0 devices. It's coming. I think Apple will release one next year. So you need to get to the point. You need to get your point across in as few words as possible. Okay, and a way to do this is pretend that in each message that you sent, it cost you $100 per word. And with this in mind, you'll definitely embrace the winning methodology of less is more. And Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address was only 272 words. And Ronald Reagan's official off-script, his off-script comment in a speech in Berlin in 1989 that ended the Cold War was 4 words, less is more, which was this. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Less is more. I have my own column in Inc. magazine. And my editor at Inc., he said, Chris, always write at an 8th grade level, which is easy for me because that's my maturity anyway. So he also told me, never have more than 3 sentences in one paragraph, and many other priceless tips. And if you look at Dr. Dion Vernon's LinkedIn profile, you'll see her summary section. There are no more than 3 sentences in a paragraph. Tip number 33. Oh, fun. How to be more confident when selling. Steve Jobs would not have been successful without realizing one simple secret in life. And what I'm about to show you can change your life. And I feel so strongly about this very short video that I paid a bunch of money to license the video. So check it out.
When you grow up, you tend to get told the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
Number 34 is all I heard was not no. So I'm very good friends with a CEO who I believe is the best salesperson I've ever met, as he's very similar to Mark Benioff. In fact, all great CEOs are great salespeople, of course. Okay, and the best salespeople are relentless when it comes to selling. They're like a pit bull on a pork chop. And they keep selling over and over and over and over again until the customer either seems interested, or better yet, they keep selling until they hear the word no, which in their mind means not yet. And you've not failed at selling your product or service or yourself until the prospect says no. So until then, keep trying different angles to sell your product or service. Be creative and don't ever give up on this lead until she or he says no. And again, until then, all you heard was not no. And if they say no, it means not yet. Tip number 35, this is fun. This one here is treat people like celebrities and celebrities like people. Now, in 2015, I was trying to get Mohit Aaron from Cohesity. Okay, I was trying to get him a customer. Okay, whenever I served on the boards of companies, my strong point, humbly, was I was really, really good at getting them customers. And I'm very competitive, especially with my students. I want to help you get the job of your dreams, etc. But I'm also very competitive when I'm on boards of companies. And you'll know that you're doing a great job as a board member if you get the first call from the CEO of the company you invested in when they need help. Okay, so in 2015, I was trying to get Mohit Aaron from Cohesity a customer. Now, the customer was the head of government sales at IBM. And this person from IBM, he worked in the White House for President Bush's White House in the early 1990s, Bush Sr. And during this dinner with Mohit and the head of IBM government sales, I asked this person from IBM, I said, what made President Bush Sr. so successful? And he said, for President Bush, as it is with all successful politicians, it comes down to having superb relationships. And he told me that President Bush treats people like celebrities, and he treats celebrities like people. So learn as much as you can about people that you meet by just asking them questions. You know, let them talk about themselves and smile. You'll learn a lot. And remember their names too. People love talking about themselves, and they really appreciate it when you use their names often in conversations. And so treat all people you meet in business like good lifelong friends. Don't jump into a business topic or in a conversation until you get to know them. And always start with personal questions like, how was your weekend? Or do your children like their new school? Or something that people love talking about, like their favorite sports teams, etc. Treat everyone like they are friends, and treat people like celebrities and celebrities like people. Tip number 36, avoid those people. Sales is really hard because you get rejected a lot. And avoid hanging out with negative people. Don't let the bastards get you down. That's right. If you can, going forward, disassociate yourself with negative people if you can. And friends with negative attitudes are not worth having. You know, surround yourself with positive people that believe that there are no limits to what they and you can achieve. You know, surround yourself with people that are incredibly successful, as their success, their confidence, and their positive outlook on business and life will rub off on you, and vice versa as well. And so surround yourself with positive people, and the chances of you being extraordinarily successful rises 1,000,000%. And I've never met a successful entrepreneur, investor, or CEO that doesn't have a positive attitude. And Richard Branson is the quintessential example of a positive role model. And I believe that Branson's cheerful and positive outlook in life and business is the primary reason for his incredible success. And his positive attitude is the cornerstone of the happy and positive corporate culture at all of its Virgin companies. You know, try flying Virgin Atlantic or one day Virgin Galactic and observe how amazing the attitude is of his employees. And a company with an incredibly positive corporate culture will no doubt be more successful than a company filled with negative people. And a negative person would never consider launching a galactic service or taking on the airline industry. And so Richard Branson clearly avoids hiring those people. Tip number 37. That person speaks gooder than me. Don't get fooled by assuming that someone in business is smarter than you just because they speak gooder than you. You know, they might have been born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and they might have gotten into Harvard Business School, which is HBS, because maybe one of their relatives went there. Remember that 2/3 of HBS is BS. Just kidding, sort of. Maybe you could say about Harvard Business School. No, maybe not. I don't know. But always remember that you earned your way to where you are today, and the fact that some people speak more eloquently than you do is not a reflection of them having higher intelligence. Au contraire, they're likely more insecure than you are. And unfortunately, in business, confidence leads to perceived competence. Tip number 38, your alma matters. People don't leverage schools that they've attended enough. Now, I have over 1,000 people that have taken my MBA degree program, and they are amazing at networking with each other, as I have MBA students all over the world now. And the friends you make in school are often more beneficial to you and to your career than what you actually learn in school. So make sure to leverage your school alumni network often. You'll be amazed how many doors are open using this best practice. And all universities have local alumni-sponsored events. And if you're not aware of them, call your alumni office and ask them for details on your local alumni club. And if one doesn't exist, then here's your golden networking opportunity to start one. And Hewlett-Packard, here's a good case study. Hewlett-Packard was very successful because the founders went to school with a Walt Disney executive. And that Walt Disney executive signed the first significant contract with Hewlett-Packard. And there's so many examples of companies that were successful because the founder leveraged her or his alumni network. So I want you to all please use LinkedIn often to leverage your golden alumni network, especially if you live more than a few hundred miles away from the school you attended. Okay, it's easy to get meetings with alumni using LinkedIn in-mails. Yeah, and all you have to do is this: just do an advanced search in LinkedIn and type in the name of the school you attended, and then the zip code or postal code where you live in now. And then you can use this very simple format to get meetings. It works, I promise you. Here's an example. John, hope all is well. I'm also a graduate of McGill University, and I will be in Cleveland in May. Please let me know if you have time for a coffee or a Zoom meeting. Thanks a lot, Chris. And so your success in sales and in business is predicated on the strength of your network. Tip number 39. You are never as nervous as you think you are, okay? Now, at times we meet with senior executives or we make these presentations and we feel nervous. Please don't worry, because 99.9% of the time, you never look or sound nervous. You just might feel it. And this should put you at ease. In fact, when you condition yourself to enjoy presenting or meeting with senior executives, then you, of course, don't feel nervous at all. And please keep in mind, when you give presentations, you always know way more about the presentation topic than anybody in the audience. And you only feel nervous because you tell yourself you're nervous. So just be yourself and tell yourself that you really enjoy the company of the audience. You know, pretend that they're your lifelong friends and family members, and they love you, and they want nothing more than you to be extremely successful. And if you feel nervous, just think of a time when you were extremely successful and you were in an amazing state of mind. Okay, meditate on that. And going forward, I want you to look forward to perceived uncomfortable situations where you felt nervous in the past. Just enjoy those moments, man, and see them as challenges, as I promise you your competition won't. Perception becomes reality. Now, what's fascinating is when you watch somebody presenting and they make a mistake, like I've done many times today, they become instantly more likable, hopefully. So just be yourself, because everyone else is taken. You be you. You do you. And as Sting, who's my favorite singer, once said, be yourself no matter what they say. And welcome to you 2.0. Tip number 40, we're almost done, is politics when selling. Now, most of us know this one is common sense, but it's worth discussing briefly. If half of a country votes for candidate X and the other half votes for candidate Y, then if you disclose your political preference, you're going to upset half of the people. So don't talk about politics, and don't put your political affiliation online or on your LinkedIn profile. And many people do this by following politicians on LinkedIn or on Twitter. It's not worth it. You know, it's questionable if you should even ever make political donations, as they are publicly disclosed online. And I guess this is why, this is a reason why some people give to both parties. Tip number 41, brag more tastefully. If you don't tell people about your accomplishments and your success, they'll never know. Now, I was raised to be incredibly humble in Canada, and I'm very proud of my upbringing and my heritage. However, you need to find ways to remind your boss or your clients or potential recruiters about your success. No one's going to brag for you. No one will help you advance. You got to help yourself. And if you don't feel comfortable doing this, then ask people to write positive reviews for you on LinkedIn like we discussed earlier. And in sports, they say, you're only as good as your last game. And people have incredibly short attention spans, and it's going to get worse. Now, if you don't remind people of your accomplishments, then it's game over for your career. Tip number 42, which is my favorite number, it's Jackie Robinson's number. Tip number 42, ask your customer or boss, how am I doing often? Okay, and I've had many friends in the companies that I've worked at that have gotten fired. And they could have avoided this by implementing the career best practice of meeting every month or two with their supervisor and asking for feedback. Okay, you need to ask for feedback from your boss in a one-on-one meeting, okay? And she or he will help to guide you to stay on the right path to success. Ask them, what do you need to do to add more value to the team? Or what do you need to accomplish before getting promoted or before getting a raise? And if you don't ask for feedback often, then communication will break down and you could lose your job. And most people are surprised when they get fired. So I want you to over communicate when it comes to this topic, please. And I say with love in my heart because I care. Tip number 43, be honest and speak from the heart. People love honesty and humility. And so when presenting or participating in meetings, just be yourself and speak from the heart. You know, throw out that script and don't be artificial. You know, and people love you for who you are. That's why you have friends and family members that love you. And I'll never forget when I was a teenager in the 1980s, the late, great Ronald Reagan gave the most prophetic speech I've ever seen. And he was speaking in front of the Berlin Wall, and he went off script with a few additional words that changed the world. He said, "Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate." And I get shivers just thinking of that epic moment in time. You can hear Reagan's passion when he went off script and spoke right from the heart. And this really upset, I got to go off script here, but this really upset Colin Powell at the time. God bless Colin Powell, he just passed away. But Colin Powell was the speechwriter for Ronald Reagan. And he was mad after that speech because Colin Powell was like, dude, I just spent 20 years trying to get good relations with the Soviets. And you pull this stunt and go off script. But it was a brilliant move by Reagan. And that ended the Cold War. So just be honest and be yourself. In your family, be yourself, okay? Throw down a challenge by letting them all know what you're most passionate about in life. You know, like they meaning your clients, your coworkers, family, whatever it is. Just speak from the heart and tell them your passions. And if you have a job, you're doing it wrong. I want you to find a passion and you'll never work a day in your life. And that was a quote by Confucius, yeah. Number 44, this one's obvious. Listen. Of course you should listen to your customer and get them to talk more than you. But I want to talk about listening to someone more important than your customer. Behind almost every successful business person is a great spouse. You're a team, and you've likely only gotten to where you are in life because of their mentoring. And so listen to them and thank them often. You know, I often read my emails to my wonderful wife, Christine, before I send them. And her feedback always rocks. Yeah. And your spouse knows what makes you happy in business. Listen to them. Remind them often what your business passions are. And in return, they will remind you what you love in life and reinforce and hence help guide you and remind you what you're on this earth to accomplish in business. What's your passion? Your spouse is your spouse is the ultimate confidant and life coach. And only your spouse can tell you if what you're wearing went out of style 80 years ago. And only your spouse can tell you that you sound too arrogant when you're practicing a corporate presentation. And only your spouse can remind you why you wanted to work in the industry you work in. And only your spouse can help you achieve your long-term goals. So listen to them and thank them often, as you'll never get a better life coach. All right, so we are now done with category number 1 and category number 2, which were about psychology of selling, as well as how to communicate and using certain tech products as well. So the third and final category is how to price your product in order to sell more. All right, so tip number 45, we're almost done. Upselling and cross-selling. Your best source of getting more customers is asking your existing customers, okay? You don't even notice that sometimes. It's right in front of you. Ask your existing customers. And your best customers, your existing customers, if they love your product, they'll evangelize and they'll help you. A happy customer of yours can cross-sell your product to other customers if you ask them. It's kind of like getting those recommendations. Also, all business models have to have a freemium product, meaning a free product. And what you can do is you can upsell customers from your premium model to a paid product, meaning charge them a higher price for a higher end product, okay? And even when you take existing customers that already purchase your products, like my courses, you can upsell to other programs as well. Yeah, and you can even use software companies, like one of Peter Thiel's companies is called AdRoll. That will help you from a retargeting perspective online. All right, number 46, free trials. This is something I'm experimenting with that works incredibly well. Now, in order to improve your conversion rates from free to paid customers, you have to ask them to put in their credit card and do a 7-day free trial, for example. And then you send them many emails telling them that they can cancel within 7 days. It also shows how confident you are in the value that your product or service adds to your customers. All right, 47, payment and subscription plans. If the sticker shock of the pricing of your product is too high, then offer payment plans where you can charge a little bit more than the one-time payment plan offering. Or what you can do is offer a subscription plan like Netflix does at an entry-level price of $8.99 per month. Alexa, what is 8.99 times 12?
8.99 times 12 is 107.88.
If you had to pay $107 every year to use Netflix, one-time payment, you probably wouldn't use as much. So the sticker shock is much lower on a monthly basis. And this is why Microsoft changed their entire business model to be a subscription-based business, and so is Adobe as well. Tip number 48, 100% money-back guarantee. It is so hard. It's so hard to compete online without offering a risk-free 100% money-back guarantee, which is what I've always done and I will always do. Okay, and you need to make it as easy as possible for customers to sign up, or as Tony Robbins calls it, You need to have a ridiculous offer. Okay, here's the last one. Charm pricing. Charm pricing means using numbers 9.99 instead of telling somebody to buy something for 10 bucks. So if you price it at $9.99, this leads to higher conversions. Okay. And with this in mind, I'm going to stop here at 49 tips. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's talk about grading of this episode for Wall Street Realism with a buy, hold, or sell rating. Now, the episode did a superb job of showing how deadly it can be doing business with the wrong investors and how to stand up to bullies, as we saw Axe stand up to Gregor, and we saw Bonnie, who rocks, stand up to Dollar Bill. And the episode also did a great job of showing how prime brokers suck when it comes to capital introduction. And the episode was so well researched too when it came to the Liar's Poker reference. As a result, I'm going to give this episode a buy rating. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next reaction video, which is Billion Season 3, Episode 10. Thank you.